For those who don't know me, I'm David Burnet. I run a company called INVIDAR, and there's a little picture of me. And my background is in games technology and development. So basically, I started my company during the pandemic after being made redundant, and have basically just formed that company around taking the technology and the stack that I have that's used in games development, but for more serious applications. So we started building virtual event platforms for the likes of Somerset and Milwaukee, so Milwaukee Power Tools. For those who don't know, so we built them an entire virtual job site where we could have people walk around the job site, interact with their tools. We did it in 15 different languages across 23 different cultures. That served as their entire sales platform throughout the pandemic, and we had 14,000 people go through the last event for them. And that generated over £1 billion worth of sales, and it was ridiculous. But that was our second project as a company. We got really lucky early on because there was such a demand for what we were kind of doing in terms of using games technology and actually doing serious applications of it. And I've been fortunate enough to build a whole team now as well. I'll go into that in a little bit, but I've been lucky enough to actually work on several other ventures as well. I'm currently Chief Innovation Officer for Purpose Giving, and I've also co-founded PIM Technology, as well as being involved in a few other companies as well. So I'm kind of more of an entrepreneur now rather than just a start my own thing. So some organisations to get involved with as well. Great Southwest has already been mentioned, as well as Digital Somerset, etc. Tech Southwest as well, BEMA, British Media Interactive Association, AIXR, and I'm also on the Adobe team as well, looking at what they're doing with AI as well. INVIDAR itself, as I said, is pretty much looking at real-time 3D technology slashed with full stack technology as well. So building front-end and back-end systems so we can bind the software and the 3D to create super kind of realistic environments, digital doubles of each other, meta-humans. We've recently been scanning underground waterways for the likes of Severn Trent and Thames Water to put engineers in VR to actually see what's down there rather than sending them down the hole. That's a little bit of Milwaukee's virtual job site out there. And again, we've been really lucky to be notarized for sort of the top immersive collaboration vendors 2023 and 2024. We're really excited about that one because although we were number 30, Microsoft was number 16 in the list. So we were quite excited. And yeah, just been super lucky to work on some amazing projects and build an amazing team. There's now 10 of us, although that photo was taken maybe 2 months ago. There's now members missing from that photo because they've recently joined us. The types of projects that we work on are quite varied, but are all using elements of games development technology and having technology and AI chucked in there. This one at the top is the underground waterway that feeds all the water into Birmingham, for example. So we've sent a team down there to LiDAR scan it, put it into VR for engineers to have a look around it and actually assess what's down there. And it's all GPS coordinated as well, so you can go down there, you can tag where problems are, and you can have a separate team viewing it on the surface to actually say, right, we need to drill here, and it'll give you like a pinpoint position. Very exciting stuff. Building product configurators, we're seeing a lot more 3D in the sort of the marketing space. Virtual environments, so this was Samsung's Life Unstoppable event during the pandemic. They built a virtual penthouse to go around and explore all their products because no one could do physical events. Meta-humans are becoming a huge thing as well, having a digital double of yourself now to be able to present. This one has just been done for a dentist in Europe, funnily enough, and thinking, why does a dentist in Europe need a digital human? Because he does e-learning as well, but the point is, it's accessible for him. The cost for making these now has come down hugely. Lego is one of our latest projects. We've put a hand tracking game into Legoland in Denmark for their new Arctic base camp. Really cool. You can build Lego and it hand tracks everything that you're doing. You can track about 45 hands in one go. And we're also working on a Hollywood film with Treehouse, who's a local company down in Poole doing some amazing work as well. And they've gone from being a team of like 5 people to like 50 people now. So it's astonishing to see their growth as well. And then looking at kind of some of the latest work we're doing. So a lot of the work we're getting into now, as you've seen, is quite varied across lots of different sectors, whether it be kind of utility, underground waterworks. We're looking a lot into defense, medical tech, teaching and e-learning. And we're having an impact in sort of multiple areas. And this is one where we're doing just sort of digital presenter works. So the idea of this one is it will be used to present and teach dental students. So I'm going to skip on that one. Keep it going. So talking of AI and why we are talking about AI today, because AI has been around for ages, it's been around for decades, much like 3D, etc. The main reason we're kind of talking about AI today is because of the accessibility. It's suddenly become very accessible to use it in our everyday lives. The resurgence of ChatGPT has really highlighted that, for example. Productivity, making us all faster, making us or allowing more time to be able to actually go in and be more creative or speed up the conceptual process. and which also allows us to be more creative. You know, we can use programs like DALL-E, etc., to make lots of concepts and kind of do quite an iterative process with it. And that's very much what our team has been kind of specialised in, not just using AI, but being a small team that has been known to deliver, as you've seen, quite, you know, brand recognising Somerset, Lego, Milwaukee, etc. As I say, we're a team of 10 now. We were a team of about 6 in the pandemic, and we were doing some astonishing work. So, and AI has only just boosted that. And really, you know, we're having teams now looking at our larger agency clients saying, well, do we use the larger agency client with hundreds of employees, or do we use the team that's actually specialised and can do a lot more in the same sort of time frame? So an AI is only taking us that bit further, and it really has an effect on every single process of the business as well. I've already mentioned some of the well-known programs that we kind of know why we're talking about AI today, which is having an effect on sort of, you know, generating documents, doing sales, lead management, all the automation stuff that goes with that, doing R&D using like a code pilot to write functions, doing ChatGPT and DALL-E to make concepts and doing logo generation. But for us as well, it goes all the way towards the end. So the projects that I talked about at the start, the one with Lego in particular, that's using a machine learning algorithm. So that's actually being used in production at a final project. The case study that I'm going to show you in a moment, the way it talks to you, the way it moves, the way that it's aware of its environment is all based on AI. And we're using that for a final end product. So it's not just having an effect on, you know, our day-to-day kind of writing documents, sales, you know, lead gen. It's not just having an impact on the iterative process right at the start. Generating images is actually being used in end products for us. I'm going to skip over that one. So it's really being the equalizer for us as a small company compared to larger companies. You know, we see this, especially in my industry, in the games industry, where I've originally come from, with the likes of Ninja Theory, which is a team that built the game Hellblade, which is actually, funnily enough, where the MetaHuman project, what we base a lot of our digital humans on, was born out of. And they were a team of 30 people, and their aim was to create a AAA game that would compete with the likes of Grand Theft Auto, etc. So, and they went and did that. And what I think AI is doing for a lot of companies, especially ones like myself, is really having that kind of equalizer step at every single level, whether it be, you know, again, that lead gen, that kind of step 1, or the kind of step 2, kind of doing that conceptual image processing or iterative process to actually being used at the end. MediaPipe is actually the algorithm we use to do the hand tracking for the Lego game. And this is just a demo. Just going to turn up audio, hopefully it works first time. So what this demo is going to show is it's basically a stack of AI built on top of each other. So we'd already built the digital human, and what we have, hopefully audio is going to work in a second. There we are.
Hi, how are you doing today?
So it's very robotic still, all right, and you may take that, but this was built in 2 weeks. Okay, so what it will do is we can synthesize the voice. We're doing text to speech on the fly. The reply is also on the fly. The movement of the face, the way it's blinking at you, the eye movement, the face movement is on the fly. Okay, it's all been real-time rendered as well inside Unreal Engine. This is literally a screen capture of the program. It's trained on the AI dental stuff. We did have voice synthesization in there, but it was of one of our employees and he was male, so it was a bit weird. So we took it out. So that being the client there. What it eventually goes on to do is it will walk around, it's aware of its environment, so you can ask it what's that on the floor and it knows it's a skull. So it's just the fact that and all we've done is put several of these AI programs together. We haven't custom built them, we've just strung them together. And it means we can really sort of conceptually come up with a concept and actually take it to a level where we can present it, as opposed to kind of like, we think we can turn and do that. So I will skip on that point now, kind of go into this next few steps. So it is kind of crazy though. It's kind of crazy to think that also those metahumans, those takes weeks as well to build. If you go on our LinkedIn, there's a video of our employee who actually built the metahumans, and that's of an iPad that we took of her face, and then she went and modified it. And again, that was done in the space of a few weeks. So give it a month's time, we can make a walking, talking version of you that we can put a chatbot on your website, and we will have one coming soon to our own website where you can ask it about our co-working space for the Foundry. Some takeaways. With all of this, there's a lot of opportunity to grow. I think it's creating, not an adaptive diaper per se, but we are certainly being a lot more productive with the systems that we're using, it is increasing our productivity hugely in terms of what we can do. It means we can be a lot more efficient, it means we can actually test a lot of these programs a lot quicker. The cost to compute, for example, as well, is a huge one for us as well. So cloud computing is huge at the moment, and the cost of those servers and the complexity of the size of them, they've come down immensely in price. To give you an example, the Samsung project that we did at the start of the pandemic, we cloud computed, and the server cost of that was about 70 grand. I'm not joking, we do the same experience today, we do it for about 2 grand. So it's come down more than 20 or 30 fold in terms of the cost of compute. So that's huge for us. Again, that's driving the accessibility, driving the power that we have at our fingertips for these AI programs, because they're using a lot of energy. And the ethics and law I've put in there as well, because especially for us around the meta-humans, and we've just had this where we've scanned a celebrity recently, and I can't say anything about it because there's been issues of it and they're constituting image rights. But that means we've done such a good job that actually this person might be deemed real, and now we've got their likeness and their face and their voice. What do we do with that? And all the ethics and law around that haven't adapted to change. So there's definitely more work that needs to be done there. And I think at the moment we're just trying to be digitally good. So that's also another thing I wanted to point out. But I was going to try and keep it quite concise. And I would say if there's questions, I'll be around at the end, but it sounds like I might not be. So please do scan the QR code, go and connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions, ping them to me on there. There's also a calendar link on my LinkedIn profile as well. So I'd be happy to book meetings in, etc., and have a follow-up conversation with you around this.